subject for discussion. I'm informed that Honorable Carter is not well, and he will be represented by Honorable Lekota. Honorable Lekota, break that caucus. It's your time to speak, sir.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Today we place on the national agenda an issue of critical national importance, namely the disjuncture between the Constitution and the Electoral Act. More specifically, the Section 19, subsection 2 of the Constitution. 19 subsection 2 prescribes that every citizen has the right to free, fair, and regular elections for any legislative body established in terms of the Constitution. 19.3 prescribed that every adult citizen has the right to vote in elections for any legislative body established in terms of the Constitution and to do so in secret. And 19.3b says we are entitled to stand for public office and, if elected, to hold office. The present Electoral Act 73 of 1988 is in conflict with Section 2 of the Constitution, which reads as follows. Quote, that this Constitution is the supreme law of the Republic. Law or conduct inconsistent with it is invalid, and the obligations imposed by it must be fulfilled, unquote. The fact that the Electoral Act of 73 of 1988 has previously deprived citizens of their right to stand for office as independent candidates for the provincial and national elections by requiring that only members of political parties may stand for elections to provincial and national legislature. That renders the Electoral Act number 73 of 88 null and void. We of the Congress of the People are of the view that the present Electoral Act, which was passed by the apartheid regime or the apartheid parliament, must be amended such that the actions of our parliament will become consistent with the Constitution. This is part of the problem that we find ourselves in as a country and as a nation. Almost 25 years into our new order, which started with so much hope and collective goodwill, both at home and abroad, we face multiple crises: constitutional, governmental, economic, and social, all of which are rooted in a political crisis of corrupted leadership, bad governance, and poor policy choices. Our constitutional order was purposely undermined. The role of Parliament was damaged and neutered. Organs of our state were weakened, captured, and repurposed, as has been documented and heard in testimony before the state capture and SARS inquiries. Amending the Electoral Act will enable reliable, accountable, and incorruptible, skilled women and men of caliber to avail themselves to be servants of the people, not bound to join any political party if they are not satisfied with them. The need for us to amend the present Electoral Act is primary. Anything done by our government, by the Electoral Act, without complying with the Constitution will render such elections null and void. We must do this in order to ensure a return to constitutionalism and the rule of law. We must do this so that we can ensure that the state is governed in accordance with the values and principles enshrined in our Constitution. We must amend this act in order to ensure that parliaments and provincial legislatures can hold those in power, the presidents, the premiers, all men and women in executive positions, that they can be held accountable by the citizens. We must ensure that wrongdoers face consequences and the full might of the law. But unless the people have power, will not be able to do so. Power must be returned to the people, not to political parties. The Freedom Charter declared power must be in the hands of the people. Let's return power to the people by amending this Electoral Act and enable the people of this country to elect men and women, those of parties and those who are outside of the parties, but men and women who will not be held ransom by any political party. This situation, we want to give power to all the people of our country, whether they are members of your party or not. They must have the right, as the Constitution says, to stand for elections and to be elected if the citizens want them.
Honorable Lekota, just
I thank you.
Just hold on. You still have time.
I thank you.
Is
Honorable
Lekota prepared to take a question on whether he's prepared to leave COPE now?
No, that's not. You've already asked the question. Honorable Lekota.
I thank you, Chairperson. May I finish my input?
Yes.
And then say, we must change, I thought you were saying I'm finished.
No.
We must change the electoral system to ensure greater accountability to constituents. We must ensure the direct election of the president, premiers, and our mayors, and all those who will occupy executive position. We must do this so that we can review powers of the president, we can fix dysfunctional education system, re-establish teachers' training colleges, ensure that our youth are equipped with the right skills and knowledge for gainful employment. We must do this so as to heal our damaged medical system in order to give back to patients the dignity they deserve. We must do this in order to rekindle that the principle that South Africa belongs to all who live in it, united in our diversity. To our fellow South Africans out there, I appeal to you not to vote for any political party that denies you your rights to choose who you want to vote for, to elect, to go to government. I say to you, until political power is in your hands, you, the people out there, will not be able to free yourself from the corruption and the squalor and the poverty you find yourself in today. Thank you.
Honorable Tseke.